Start talking.
Very good. Yep, you're good.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Meteorologist Chris Sowers here, 4:30 on June. What do we got here? 20 what second? And we're tracking the radar. We're tracking some thunderstorms pushing through. It does look like you see those little. We've had a couple damage reports earlier today with some of the thunderstorms that ran up the I-95 corridor. But if you look out there to the west, we have a couple warnings. All right, we also have what appears to be two little circles. And what that indicates is areas where we had some rotation earlier. Drew's going to point them out for you right here. So this was a wall cloud report. And what a wall cloud report is, it's the base of a tornado. All right, so in other words, it's, I don't know, let's just say, I don't know, maybe a couple hundred feet off the ground, and the base of it is rotating. It's moving just like this. That doesn't necessarily mean it's rotating quickly, but it is rotating, and then eventually the funnel drops down from that wall cloud, and then it drops down once it touches the ground. Obviously, then it becomes a tornado. So that's what a wall cloud is, a wall cloud, and we had a couple of those reports out there in Lancaster County, northeast Lancaster County. It looks like it was right over the Pennsylvania Turnpike, actually. And now that cell is pushing east. It's moving into extreme western portions of Chester County. And you know what I didn't do? I need to get a map going here so I can label some of the towns out there. Hey, Drew, if you're still on, could you, zoom in real quick for me, buddy, and let's flip it over to velocity mode real quick. Let's see what we're working with here, what we got going on. There's a nice little round donut there. Nice little ball. See that? By Elverson. It does appear, you see the green on the red there. Now, it would be broad rotation if we had it, but there is some rotation there. So we'll have to watch that and see what that thing wants to do. As long as yeah, wow, Drew, you see that? That was tight at one point, and that must have been when they had the wall cloud. It's not as tight now, but you can see that we definitely had some kind of rotation. Drew is gonna you know what we could do, Drew? We could, ooh, that looks interesting too. Yeah, right there, the telestrator. Why don't we draw a little circle and show everybody where that rotation would be? There it is, right there. Nice job, Drew. So that is exactly where the rotation would be. All right, see where the two are connecting? See the green and the red? That's exactly where it would be if there was a tornado. Now, there's not. All right, we don't even have a tornado warning, but we had a couple of wall clouds reported. Again, if you're just now tuning in, if you look towards the left where New Holland is and east of Paradise, that's what those two symbols mean. All right, a wall cloud was spotted. All right, it also looks like the National Weather Service is chipping away at the warnings from west to east. You saw that one disappear there. So it looks like this storm here, the new warning does include Pottstown, Limerick, Phoenixville, and Malvern. That severe thunderstorm doesn't have a tornado tag. It's just saying, well, actually it did. Drew, can we go back real quick? It did have a tornado tag, didn't it? Did I miss that? Yeah, there it is.
Yeah,
It
it
does.
does.
What's that?
Yes, it does have that on it.
Okay, so it does have the tornado tag. All right, and so what this means, here's a look at the warning. All right, it says it's until 5 p.m. at 4:15. The thunderstorm was located near Honeybrook, or 7 miles east of New Holland. So that was about 15 minutes ago. So now it's probably really, really close to New Holland, if not right over top of it. It's moving east at 35 miles per hour. It has Doppler radar estimated winds of 60, and it does have 3/4 of an inch hail stone being reported too. So that's a pretty good cell. We're going to have to watch it closely. Again, the fact that it's already had some rotation has me a little concerned. And it looks like it wants to just push due east right over the Pennsylvania Turnpike in between Elverson and Eagleville. So if you're listening to me right now and you're going to be driving that way, just keep in mind you're going to hit a really good storm. Drenching downpours, rainfall rates with some of these storms are in the order of 1.5 to 2 inches an hour. That's a blinding downpour. That's car wash type stuff. You're going through the rinse cycle in a car wash. I mean, that's coming down. You also have hail being reported here, and of course the gusty straight line winds, yet alone the possibility of a tornado. Now, really, that's the only game in town. We do have a thunderstorm up there in the Poconos, but as far as the immediate Philadelphia area is concerned, this is the only ball game in town right now. This one, and you can see those thunderstorms lifting north up towards Pottstown, Limerick, and Boyertown. Now, those aren't severe, but they do have pretty good downpours associated with them, too. And right now, I'm going to zoom into an area here. What do we have, a new warning there, Drew? It looks like a new warning just showed up west of Elverson now. Or is that from the same storm and it's just crossing over the county line?
Yeah, I believe so. I lost connection to your computer for a minute, so you should be able to move it around until I get reconnected.
Okay, so we dropped out again?
No, your feed is fine. I just lost my Wi-Fi
Oh,
on my end dropped, so you're
okay.
good. I just don't have control of your computer for a minute.
All right, so for everybody listening to me, we went live earlier today. Again, we dropped out a couple times. I apologize. I'm still living in a basement right now. Friday, we make settlement Friday. Keep the fingers crossed, and then I'll have my own house. I'll have everything set up in my office, and I won't have to worry about any of this anymore. Because it's trial and error. Every play, whether it's my mom's or my dad's or my wife's sisters, we got to find the good spots, and then sometimes the Wi-Fi, sometimes what we're running programming wise doesn't like it, sometimes it does, and so we're running into some technical issues. Once I get situated, I won't have to worry about this anymore. So just bear with me for like one more week, and then we'll be okay. Actually, it's not even a week. It's not even a week. What is today? It's Monday, so it'll be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. About 4 more days. All right, and my computer just dropped out. What's going on? All right. Is that you, Drew, on there? Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm trying to get back in.
Go ahead. You want me to do it?
Yeah, because evidently I can't type right now.
There we go. Okay, so again, if you're just now tuning in, we have a severe thunderstorm warning. It's for the cell that is just south of Elverson. Now, what Drew just did was he flipped it into velocity mode. Earlier, we had a couple of wall clouds reported by actual storm spotters, all right, storm chasers. They're out there. They're kind of like our eyes on the storm, so to speak. Oh, now look at that, Drew. That's tight. All right, they're gonna pop a warning for that. That's out by Honeybrook.
National Weather Service chat and see if they're going to issue a tornado warning or not. So give me just a minute and I'll log into that.
Okay. Guys, if you're listening to my voice right now and you're in the Honeybrook area, they're going to pop a tornado warning for that. There has not been a warning issued yet. They're going to pop one for it. And it's moving east at about 35 miles per hour. So let's say East Nantmeal, Wallace. Hold on. I'm looking at some of these towns now. Where are we? Honeybrook East. I'm going to zoom in here. All right, so Glenmore. There's New Holland. So Narvin. If you're in Narvin, you should be going in. You should be thinking about what you're going to do if a tornado warning is issued. Okay, in Narvin. Same thing with Glenmore, Brandamore. All right, and that's really it. There's a lot of open land out here, so those are the immediate ones. Honeybrook is another one. Actually, it's right over Honeybrook. How about, let's try Icedale? I don't know if that's the name of a town or whether or not that's the name of a housing development right there on 322. Suplee, just north of Honeybrook, again, is another one. Springton Manor Farm, that area. Yep, there's the tornado warning. Yep, just like clockwork. I knew they were going to issue this. All right, so we got a tornado warning in effect now. And again, it is for, let's call this Western Chester County, okay? And so this is it's right over Honeybrook right now, the area that we're watching. Now we had 2 storm reports, all right, of wall clouds that were reported probably about 15 minutes ago. All right, now what Drew's going to do is he's going to put a track on here. There's a look at some of the communities that are in the path of this potential tornado. Phoenixville, you're on deck here. Looks like 508. So you have some time. So I would say everybody from Eagle View east, you have some time. So quickly, but calmly get to your safe place, okay? And remember where that is. That's the basement, all right? That's the number one place to be. If you don't have a basement, you go to the center part of your house, okay? And the object here is to put as many walls in between you and the outside as possible. You want to avoid open rooms. You want a smaller room, like an interior closet or something like that. Keep your shoes on, okay? I can't stress this enough. And make sure that you cover yourself. Maybe you can grab a blanket or a pillow or something real quick as you go into the closet. Don't forget your pets either, okay? So right now, this potential tornado is right there over Honeybrook, and it's moving east at about 30 to 35 miles per hour. So next in the path of this is going to end up being Suplee. I believe that's the name of a town that's showing up here, Suplee, Suplee. or maybe that's a housing development or something like that. There it is right there. Um, Looks like Suplee Road. How about Chestnut Tree Road? Those areas there, you're going to be right in the path of this thing within like the next not even 5 minutes. So you guys need to, if you're close to the areas that I just mentioned, north of 322, you got to be in your safe place, okay? All right, there's another look at it there. And then eventually we get into Wybrook, and then east of there is going to be Glenmore. Okay, and actually as Drew is expanding this view a little bit, you can see the areas there. So it's East Nantmeal, Wallace. Okay, those areas, if you're listening to my voice, you have time, but you need to quickly get to your safe place. All right, there's the potential rotation right there. Now remember, what we're tracking here is it's a very unstable air mass. We had a warm front punch through. Once it did, I mean, you instantly felt the humidity change. I know I did this morning. So the atmosphere is becoming increasingly more unstable minute by minute, hour after hour. And now you've got this upper level disturbance swinging through. And this upper level disturbance, if you've been tuning into my dungeon segments, I've been explaining how these upper level disturbances have a little bit of spin to them. And sure enough, this is what we're seeing now. Now this upper level disturbance is entering this highly unstable air mass, and you're getting the heavy thunderstorms firing up. Remember, strong straight line winds was the primary threat, but we also had a tornado threat. And Drew, I'll tell you right now, I like what I'm seeing here. That indicates to me a broader rotation, so that right there indicates to me that there might not be anything on the ground. What do you think there, Drew? What are you seeing there?
Yeah, did not like that one update, but it definitely looks better on that scan.
Yeah, that one was tight. The update prior was pretty tight. I agree.
Don't have any damage reports or anything coming in yet via National Weather Service chat, so that's good news.
Okay, good. That's my partner Drew. He's down there in northern Alabama. Boy, he's no stranger to severe weather, right? Out there in Alabama, they get it all the time. All right, so if you're on 322, all right, it looks like it's just north of 322. And the cell is east of Honeybrook. Drew's going to zoom on in there. There it is, right there. Now, again, what Drew mentioned, he's absolutely right. The previous update did not look good, all right, when the green was right there. Right there. See that? If that maintains itself over the next couple of updates, that's more than likely a tornado on the ground. But the fact that the two kind of pushed apart, oh, wow. So it looks like we've got some pretty good winds here, too, being reported. Wow. Now you're looking at potential gate-to-gate shear. All right, there's Glenmore, and if you're listening to me in Glenmore, remember, you still have this tornado warning. I don't have eyes over there. We don't have storm chasers or reporters there, but there's a look at the potential rotation right over the Horseshoe Pike, okay? 322 Horseshoe Pike. Again, the fact that the two are a little bit farther apart would suggest to me that the rotation is broad enough to that it's not on the ground, but this is something that you don't want to take any chances with. If you're listening to my voice, anywhere in there, in this area, Wallace, East Nantmeal, north of 322, east of Honeybrook, you need to be in your safe place, which again is the basement or the center part of your house. Keep your shoes on. We've talked about this before. Ida, all right, the Mulligan Hill tornado was a perfect example of why you need to always have your shoes on. Because if this is a tornado and you do get damage, you don't want to have to come up from your basement and try to move around when there's busted glass everywhere and splintered wood and you don't have any shoes on. That's a really bad situation. All right, so we're going to go back over to the velocity mode. And what Drew's doing here is he's kind of putting a little radius. It looks like it's about just shy of 6 miles west of Wallace. And Wallace, you are right in the path of this. Okay, you are right there. So this is going to move right over you guys. Now, I don't know if there's a tornado on the ground, but the tornado warning has been issued, and you can see the Doppler mode suggests that there could be a tornado. Now, what we've done here is we've gone side by side. On the left, what you're looking at is the velocity mode, and on the right, what you're looking at is the reflectivity mode. And notice, actually, you start to see this little, you see this, Drew? You see the little dip there? It almost looks like we're trying to get a little notch forming right where 322 is. Yep, right there. So maybe we do have a tornado that is trying to touch ground here. All right, we're going to have to stay on this. So, again, right now the hail core is probably going to move right over Wallace. Drew, do me a favor. Draw a little circle right where the tornado would be if, in fact, it's on the ground so we can give these guys a general idea. Yeah, right about there. Okay? Yep, right about there. That's where it would be. And you can kind of see the little notch trying to form. So this is definitely a storm that's trying to get better organized. Wallace, you're going to be right in the path of this. You'll get the hail core first, and then whether or not there's a tornado on the ground remains to be seen. But that part of the storm will then come in next. You do not have a lot of time. You need to be in your safe place, my friends in Wallace, okay? Listening to my voice, go down to the basement, center part of your house. We'll go a little bit wider. There's the area right there. We're back in reflectivity mode. We're going to go a little bit wider and show you what's going on here. Phoenixville, okay? You guys, if you're listening to my voice, you are in the tornado warning. You have some time right now, though. You still have about probably 15 minutes or so. So you have an opportunity at this point to get everything that you need together, okay? And then go down to the basement. You don't have a lot of time here, but you do have some time. King of Prussia, if the storm maintains, okay, and holds together, it's going to be right over you guys by 5:22, so about 40 minutes from now. Looks like Radnor, about 5:23, Norristown 5:26. So obviously, as this thing continues to move to the east, it's going to be moving into a more heavily populated area. The storm's moving east at 35 miles per hour. To the north, as we go up the northeast extension there, you can see we had some more heavy thunderstorms up there by, there we go, by Quakertown. Nice job. Thanks, Drew. You can see the movement here. All right, everything's moving from southwest to northeast at a pretty good clip at about maybe 35 miles per hour. So northeast extension, you're fine until you get to about maybe, let's say 20 minutes from Quakertown, and then you run into some problems in Emmaus and Macungie, heavy drenching downpours. Remember, some of these downpours producing rainfall rates of 1 to 2 inches an hour. So the tornado right now, the warning is right there over northern Chester County. We're north of Coatesville. Coatesville, I'm going to give you the all clear, okay? You're not in the warning, but it looks like it's cutting right through the northern part of town. All right, Westchester's in the clear. Coatesville, you're in the clear. The storm is way to your north. Okay, you're not going to have to worry about it. And everybody south of Eagleville probably will be... Let's see. Let me look a little bit closer before I say that. All right, Downingtown, you're in the tornado-warned area, but this storm is going to pass north of you. I don't think you're going to be in the trouble zone here. And same thing with Exton. I think you guys, you're in the warning. Your phones probably went off. You probably got the tornado warning. But I don't think this is going to bother you guys. You may get some heavy rain, but the area where the tornado potentially is north of you guys, and the storm is moving east. Right? Is it moving due east, Drew? Let me...
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much?
Northeast a little bit, but pretty much due east.
Okay, so then if you're in Downingtown, you're okay. All right, and same thing. There's the movement. There we go. Good job, Drew. All right, so you see that right there? So Downingtown, I know you're in the warning. Again, I know your phone's going off and telling you what to do and giving you instructions, but I don't think you're going to have to worry too much about this. You're going to get some rain, definitely, but it looks like the area where we're getting the rotation is way north of you guys. See the movement there? Boom, right there. It's right over Wallace now. Also, look at the notch, Drew, getting a little more better organized there. Wow. Yeah, this is going to end up, this has the potential to be a tornado on the ground, if it's not already. Brandamore. I'm trying to find Downingtown on this map. There it is right there. So at this point now, there's Eagleville. All right, so it looks like there's Eagleville right there. Eagleview, excuse me. I keep calling it Eagleville. Looks like a town called Lindell is right in the path of this thing now. So if you're listening to me and you're in Lindell, you need to be in your safe place. Okay, guys? We're going to zoom all the way down into street lever. Now I'm not even going to try to talk anymore. Street level. I've got these, I apologize, I've got these Invisaligns, the retainers in my mouth. I have an Invisalign for at least another 4 months, and sometimes it's really hard to talk with them in. All right, so there's Glenmore. See the notch, okay? That little section there. Drew, you want to draw that again real quick? So Drew's going to draw the outline, the little notch. And this area right there. Okay, and see it shifting east. If there's a tornado on the ground, it's right there. It would be right over High Spire Road, okay? Right there. That's where it would be. So it's going to pass just north of Glenmore, and it's going to pass, just south of Glenmore. Sorry about that. Just south of Glenmore. and it's going to pass just south of Wallace. It looks like it's moving right over High Spire Road, and it's going to move right over Lindell Road. You can see a lot of cloud-to-ground lightning strikes, too. Also, notice over the Pennsylvania Turnpike, looking a little farther to the north near East Nantmeal, look at all that purple. That is a lot of hail falling. Those are probably some really big... Is that Ville that we're looking at, Drew?
Yes.
Okay, so this is what we call vertically integrated liquid. It's how we measure whether or not there's large hailstones falling. And given what I'm seeing here, I can promise you there is. There's probably some really big hailstones falling right now in that little core there, right over the Pennsylvania Turnpike in between East Nantmeal and Wallace. So what we potentially have going on here, we have that all of this is a sign that this storm is trying to get better organized, and we may actually, in fact, see a tornado here. There could be one on the ground. Remember, if you're just tuning in, we've had 2 reports of wall clouds. They were storm spotter reports. That was earlier, probably about a half hour ago. So this storm we know has been rotating. And now there's the tornado warning. So again, if you're listening to my voice, Coatesville, I'm going to give you, I know you're under a severe thunderstorm warning. You are not in the path of this storm. I'm giving you guys the all clear right now. Okay? You're going to be fine. Westchester, same thing. You're fine. Downingtown is under a tornado warning. This storm is going to push north of you guys. I don't think you're going to have any problems in Downingtown.
They canceled the tornado warning
Did
for
they?
Southern Berks, just because the storm moved out of Southern Berks County.
Oh,
but
okay.
Continues for West Central Montgomery County.
Gotcha.
Chester and Delaware counties until 5 o'clock.
Okay, so we're extending Chester and Delaware counties until 5 p.m.? Okay, so that's good.
Yeah, they just continued the warning until 5 o'clock for Montgomery, Chester, and Delaware, but Berks County is out of it now.
Okay, so what they're doing is they're giving everybody... I tell you what, Drew, let's pan out, go a little bit wider. What the National Weather Service is doing is they're going to give everybody as much time as possible to get out of the path of this thing. All right, so if you're listening to my voice and you're in Malvern and Eagle View, okay, there's the potential tornado right there. You can see the rotation. Okay, now Eagle View is going to be a close call. It looks like it's going to move either right over the northern part of town. Let's see. Yeah, it's going to go, what do you think, over the northern part there? Yeah.
Yeah, probably so.
Yeah, I would say it's over Wallace right now. All right, remember, we told Wallace, if you guys are in Wallace, you need to be in your safe place, okay? It's right over you guys right now. And it looks like it's going to move right over Eagle View, too, or just north, probably the northern part of the town. All right, again, Downingtown, you're probably okay. Exton, I also think you're probably okay. There we go. Drew's putting on the, right there. So there's a look at the town. So it looks like 406, a community called Lionville. And then Charlestown, about 18 minutes from now, so 4:15, if the storm maintains itself, should be right over you guys. Phoenixville, about 22 minutes from now, 4:19. Norristown, about a half hour from now, 4:27 p.m. It looks like it'll be over you.
Those hours look, that's an hour behind on the list. I'm not sure why. I'll have to work on that.
Oh, should that all be 5:15s and 5:20?
Yeah, because it's currently 4:51, isn't it?
Okay, all right. So we're gonna have to work on those times. But if your town name is up, if you see your town name listed there, okay, that means this storm is going to be moving over your guys' locations pretty soon. All right, we'll have to fix the times there. All right, so there it is right there. So again, Downingtown, you're fine. I know you're under the tornado warning, but you're fine. This is just north of you. Hi, Paigey. Exton, Fraser, Malvern, going to be a close call. Okay? Right now, I would say the areas that most definitely need to take shelter is Eagle View, Charlestown, West Pikeland, Valley Forge is going to be another one. You still have about maybe 15 minutes or so, but that's not a lot of time. So think about where you need to be here if you're listening to me in Valley Forge. Remember, you need to be in your safe place, which is the basement or the center part of your house. All right, there's a look at, do we have the correlation coefficient, Drew? Are we able to show that? There it is. All right, so how about we pan out just a little bit so we can give them what does that look like? A lot of noise to you?
Yeah, pretty noisy. Can't really
Yeah.
tell much about it.
It doesn't. What we're looking for here is the Doppler radar. Some of the upgrades that we've had over the last 20 years are incredible. Now, what we're able to do with Doppler radar, we're now able to measure something moving in the opposite direction in which precipitation would be moving, and obviously that would indicate debris flying up in the air, right? If we have a tornado on the ground. So a lot of times what you'll see is colors that are completely opposite to what the main color is. And in this case, the main color is the purples, right? Everything's falling from top to bottom from the clouds. And then all of a sudden you would get these kind of pixelated greens and yellows and everything, which would represent something moving in the opposite direction. In this case, it would be debris, but that doesn't look like debris to me. That kind of looks like a lot of noise coming from the radar site. But that's how you use that particular product there. All right, so if you're just tuning in, we do have a tornado warning, okay? This tornado warning is up for Chester County, and it's up until, I believe it's 5 p.m. It is 5 p.m. They will likely extend this, though, as we still have really good rotation and a very nice notch showing up now. I don't know what the gate-to-gate shear is here, but the fact that we have, you just saw that circle, that's what we call a hail core. All right, that is where you
Yeah, but that
probably,
may be some big hail, Chris. Like
yeah,
that may be bigger than golf ball size hail in that black
you
little
think that's
spot right there.
potentially golf ball size hail or larger? And that's another sign. That's another sign that this storm is trying to get better organized, and there's likely a tornado on the ground here. All right, here's another point. You know what? I'm glad I just read this. I probably should have mentioned this earlier. So now it's too late now. If you're in Eagle View or Wallace, you just need to hang tight and get to the basement or the center part of your house. Just a quick reminder: mobile homes. Okay, if you're in this tornado warned area, you can't be in a mobile home. All right, let me explain why. You can't be in there because you have nothing anchoring that mobile home down. You're sitting on a block of cement. Okay, so winds like from a tornado will very easily shift the mobile home or even pick it up and toss it. And if you're inside of it, you're going to get picked up and tossed too. So if you're living in a mobile home and you're in, uh, if you're an eagle, I don't want you doing anything right now. Just hang tight. Do whatever you got to do to stay safe. Cover your head, crouch down, get into the smallest room, lowest floor. Again, mobile home, houses. Just it's too late now. The storm's over top of you. But anywhere east of Eagle, okay, and you're listening to my voice and you're under this tornado warning. West Pikeland, perfect example. You have time. If you're in a mobile home, get in a car right now and go to a more significant shelter. It could be anything from a Wawa to a Walmart, okay, a gas station store, anything. But just get out of the mobile home. All right, if you're an Eagle View, stay put, ride this thing out, okay? Everybody east of there, though, you don't have a lot of time, so make sure that you are doing whatever you can calmly but quickly to get to a safe shelter. All right, remember windows. We don't want to be anywhere near windows either. We're going to put another storm track on. And remember vehicles. You do not want to be driving on some of these main roads. Same reason why, all right? Because a lot of times these tornadoes end up being rain wrapped, okay? And if the tornado is rain wrapped, you're not going to see it. So it looks like rain. There could actually be a tornado behind it. And same thing with the mobile home. It'll pick the car up and toss it. So let's say right now, Pennsylvania Turnpike, if you're in the Eagle View area, you want to be pulled over, quite honestly. You don't want to be driving there. All right, but you can see Downingtown is in the clear, like we said. All right, the storm's pushing north of you guys. Malvern is going to be a much closer call, though. Yeah, that's a nice notch, Drew. There's probably a tornado there.
Yeah, whatever weird glitch that was with the times, they look to be right now.
Okay, so the times. All right. Hi, Paigey. So it looks like the times are fixed now. So we put a storm track on it. The storms. All right. So they did. What they just did was they reissued the tornado watch. They've extended it a little bit. They've pushed it a little bit farther to the east, and it's also a little bit farther to the south. But same thing, Downingtown. You are not in this. You're in the warning, but the storm is way north of you guys. All right. So you're going to be fine in Downingtown. Just a little bit of rain. Yeah, I had a feeling we were going to run into these problems today, Drew. The whole setup looked really, really A lot of spin. Just a lot of spin. The outlined red area, is that a mesoscale discussion there, Drew? Let's click that. All right, severe thunderstorm watch, EF1 tornadoes possible, winds of 90. Look at the straight line winds too, Drew, 55 to 70. And hail up to 1.25 inches. Is that ping pong ball size? That might be ping pong ball. Let's see. There's the hail chart, 1.25 inches. It's just under ping pong ball size. Man, that's a heck of a hailstone. All right, so 1 inch in diameter is a quarter. 1.5 inches is ping pong ball, and 1.75, so 1.75 inches is a golf ball. 2 inches is a hen egg, and 2.5 inches is a tennis ball. All right, we're going to zoom back in. You're looking at reflectivity mode. Okay, so we're going to zoom back into Eagle View, right over the Pennsylvania Turnpike. That's where this potential tornado is. Right over Eagle View, north side of town. Okay, right over the Pennsylvania Turnpike. West Pikeland, you're out of time. You need to be in your safe spot, okay? Basement, center part of your house. If you don't have the basement, lowest floors, okay? Lowest floors as possible. Smallest rooms, okay? You don't want to, what you want to try to avoid is being in the upper level rooms. You want to try to avoid open rooms. You want to be in the lowest floor, smallest room possible. Put as many walls in between you and the outside as possible. Keep your shoes on. Make sure that you have some kind of way of protecting your head. Maybe you've got a pillow, or just crouch down, put your hands over your head as you're in your safe place. You can see the rotation there. That does look a little better to me, Drew. What do you think?
Yeah, it's definitely got more broad than
Yeah.
it was.
So if you guys are watching me right now, you're streaming with us, you see how the green and green and red, they're not really touching each other anymore. See that? That's a good sign. That means the rotation is broadening here. We could have had a spin up real quick there for maybe 10 minutes. And now, because that was tight. It was tight there for a couple minutes there. You see the movement coming out of Honeybrook? There it is. And again, I don't know why they put Downingtown in this warning. I don't know why Westchester's in this warning. Neither one of those locations are going to end up seeing tornadoes out of this, at least from this particular cell. Exton, you are not in the clear, though. Exton, you guys need to be sheltered. Same thing with Malvern. Same thing with Berwyn, Chesterbrook, Charlestown. Let's see, who else do we have here? Did I say Malvern? There's Malvern. There's Exton. It's right on Exton. Let's go Exton Park. All right, if you live anywhere near Exton Park, right over 202, that area. Looks like Fraser. I think that's another location that's in the path of this thing. Paoli Hospital could end up being in the path of this pretty soon. East Goshen Township Park. This will likely, this might actually go right over there. It's near Exton. I'm trying to look at this. Yeah, East Goshen Township Park may end up being an area where this thing travels to. I'll tell you what, Drew, let's go back over to reflectivity mode real quick. And again, that notch is very well defined. I don't know if there's a tornado on the ground here, but there might have been at one point. That is well defined. The hail core.
I still don't have any damage reports coming in from Chad, so that's at least maybe a little bit of good news.
Do we have any spotter reports anymore, or was it just the 2 wall clouds?
No more since those wall cloud reports.
Okay, that's good. Maybe maybe the reports that we're going to end up seeing here were maybe it was just a funnel. Maybe it was a wall cloud with a funnel. Hopefully, that's all that we're going to end up seeing here, right? Nobody wants a tornado. There's a look at the reflectivity mode. That's still a pretty good notch there, Drew. All right, let's. I'll tell you what.
The environment it's going in, unfortunately, is pretty favorable still. So
yeah,
keep watching it.
A lot of cape, right, and some shear. Let's go back down to the south. Look at this cell. This is getting interesting here. Yeah, in southern Chester County, right there. That one's starting to get a little better organized too, and that one has some hail, some right there around Oxford and New London, or just east of Oxford. Look at that. Look at that. Man, is everything going to try to spin today? We're going to have to keep our eye on that one now, too. Pan out. There's no warning on that, but keep your eye on that because that's another one that they might end up warning here in a second. Where's Kennett Square? The land of the mushroom. Looks like it's going to move right over you guys or just to the north, right on Route 1. They're going to pop. I can almost promise you they're going to pop at least a severe thunderstorm warning for this. All right, so let's put Kennett Square. Now, with a severe thunderstorm warning, what you have to do is a little different here. You don't have to go to the basement or the center part of your house, but you should be heading inside and you should be away from windows. There is no warning up yet, but they're going to wind up, what I'm seeing here, they're going to end up issuing a warning shortly. All right. Well, I hope everybody had a wonderful weekend, right? Now all of a sudden we get the fireworks here. And remember what we were talking about, and if you've tuned into my Facebook Lives over the last 3-4 days, my dungeon segments, one of the things that we've seen a sudden change in the modeling is now all of a sudden it looks like it could get active tomorrow too. I don't know if we're going to actually see this kind of stuff tomorrow, but it was interesting to see that the modeling is now starting to show more thunderstorms flaring up tomorrow afternoon, and then the front finally pushes through. So we might get back-to-back days like this. There's a report right there, Drew. Do you see that in Chester, the new one right there? Let's see what that is. Yeah. Funnel cloud. Seen about a mile north, moving northeast, rapidly rising motion and spin could be seen around it. So that was a report from Liam. I don't know the last name. 501. All right, so we could clearly see the rotation. We know it's there's rotation there. We know it's spinning. All right, Downingtown. Drew, can we flip this over to reflectivity real quick? Downingtown, I'm going to give you the all clear, okay? Downingtown, you're fine. Westchester, I know you're in the warning. I'm going to give you the all clear too. This storm is nowhere near you guys. You don't have to be sheltered in Chester, Westchester, or Downingtown. This storm is well north of you guys. Malvern, it's going to be a close call. It does look like it's going to pass just north of Malvern too. All right, maybe the northern part of town, this thing clips you. But really the areas that are under the gun here, the areas that are going to end up seeing the worst of this, the large hail, the heavy rain, the lightning, and the potential tornado, are areas right over the... It looks like it's in a car driving the Pennsylvania Turnpike, 76. It's going to go right over Chester Brook. Let me go over to Chester Brook. Hi, Paige. How are you? Do you want to do tornado stuff with your daddy?
There are tornadoes?
Yeah, we got 2 warnings. Hi, honey.
Wait, there's a real tornado?
There's a real tornado.
Where is it?
Right now, it's north of Exton in Chester County.
Is it taking
It's like Wizard of Oz. You ever see that movie?
No, what's Wizard of
You never saw Wizard of Oz? Oh, we're going to have to watch Wizard of Oz.
Wizard of Oz.
That's the Wicked Witch of the West.
Wizard of Oz?
Wizard of Oz. O-Z.
Oh, I
Oz.
thought it was Wizard of Oz.
Boz? Upper Providence, again.
I'm hungry.
You're hungry?
I'm hungry.
Does Mommy have tacos for you?
I'm hungry.
Okay.
I'm hungry.
Drew, I don't understand this. I don't know why they're putting...
Mommy?
They got so many areas under this warning that don't need to be. Upper Providence, that's another location, does not need to be in this tornado warning. If you're listening to my voice in Upper Providence, you don't have to seek shelter. You're fine. This thing's going to go way north of you guys. I don't know why they're in this warning. If your phone's going off in Westchester, Upper Providence, let me zoom in. They've in my opinion, they've drawn this warning box. It's too big. It doesn't need to be this big. Newtown Square. Where's Newtown Square? Malvern. There's Malvern. You're fine in Newtown Square. That's another area. You're under a tornado warning. This thing is going to be north of you guys. Okay? So if you live south of Newtown Square and you're in this warning, you're fine. Edgemont, Willistown, don't need to be in this warning. Same thing with Marple. I know your phones are going off, tornado warning. You don't need to be in this warning, all right? You're fine. Come on out from the basement. This storm is well north of you guys. It is all the way up towards the Pennsylvania Turnpike. If you're in Malvern, Berwyn, Radler, Exton, from that line north, you need to be in your safe place. I think they just drew this polygon too big. Still got some pretty good lightning strikes there too, huh, Drew?
Yeah, it's kind of holding its own. It's kind of a good thing. It's not getting any stronger, and unfortunately it's not weakening too fast. It's just kind of moving along and spinning.
Yeah. Going to be interesting to see. Oh, that's a good sign. It doesn't look nearly as organized now. There it goes, little bowling ball. And those tacos smell so good. Oh my gosh. My wife and Paigey, wife just got home from work, and they're eating tacos. All right, here's a look at the storm. So again, you're just now tuning in. We do have a tornado warning. This is up for, it is up for central. Well, now they're chipping away at it. So it looks like it's east central Chester County, a sliver of south central Montgomery County, and a sliver of northwestern Delaware County. Here's a look at it. Okay, so at 5:05, and it's 5:09 now, so this is just recently updated. The thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located over Chester Springs, or 8 miles north of West Chester, moving east at 30 miles per hour. So it's moving along pretty good. The hazard, all hazards are in play here, but the two that they're really kind of honing in on is the tornado threat and the quarter-size hail. They show impacts, flying debris, obviously dangerous to people caught outside without shelter. Mobile homes will be damaged or destroyed. All right, we were just talking about this. If you're in a mobile home and your phone's going off, you're in one of the areas here under the tornado warning, you can't be in that mobile home. You got to get in your car. You got to drive to a more substantial shelter, maybe a Wawa. Do they have sheets out there? Or is that when you get out towards the Harrisburg television market? Maybe a Wawa, a Dollar General, a Walmart, something, some kind of sturdy shelter. You can't be in a mobile home, okay, guys? Shoes got to stay on. It's starting to look better to me, Drew.
Yeah, I'm wondering if it looks kind of outflow dominant right now to me, like it's choked itself off a little bit.
I agree. Pewtown, some heavy rain pulling away. That looks a lot better to me now. Yeah, the rotation is pretty broad here. What we're looking for, a good indication of a tornado on the ground is when you start to have a bright green banked up against the bright red. You can see we do have green and red pretty close to each other, but they're not on top of each other anymore, which would indicate a pretty broad rotation. What Drew's doing here is he's put in split mode. On one side, we have the super high-resolution reflectivity on the left, and on the right is the storm relative velocity. Okay? So, again, this is the same storm. We've just kind of broken it down with two radar features. Drew's going to draw the area that we're watching here. You can kind of see the little notch. All right? You see that little notch. If you look to the left, you see that little, it almost looks like a tail hanging down. If you see where Charlestown is, you see that line, kind of that red line stretching down? That's the notch right there, all right? And so the tornado would be right there or on the right side of it, okay? And what you look for, again, on the right side, that's the velocity mode. You're looking for green, kind of banked right on top of the red. We have it, but notice how far apart they are? That would indicate, again, that this is more of a broad rotation, and that if we did have something on the ground, there's a good chance that it's lifting off the ground now, or it's just not there anymore. I'm not going to give anybody the all clear yet. Malvern, you still should be sheltered. Berwyn, you should be sheltered. Chesterbrook, you should be sheltered. So I'm not going to give you guys the all clear yet, but it does look a little bit better, which is good. Westchester, they finally moved you guys out of the warning. Upper Providence, you're fine. Again, I know the tornado warning is for you guys. You're nowhere near this storm, so don't worry about being sheltered there. Even the rain is going to pass by. I don't know why this polygon is so big. Let's see, Malvern. It's going to be over probably the north town of Malvern soon. And then Newtown Square is another area. this just isn't going to bother you. You're too far to the south. Oh, good. All right, let's do that. So here's a look at the notch. So Drew, I'm going to grab the control for a second, okay, Drew?
Sounds good.
Okay. So when I'm talking about a notch, I'm talking about right here. You see this little indent, if you will? We call that a notch. This, hey, stop that. Hold on, let me go back. Okay, let's try that again. So this would be the notch right here, okay? And this would be where the tornado would be, right about there, right, Drew? Somewhere in there?
Yep.
Okay. And so this, again, this would be moving this way, okay? Your hail core is up here. Okay, that's all the purple and everything, okay? So I'm just kind of trying to point all this out. So, okay, Drew, I'll give you the controls again. So, because you're going to hear me use terms, and I want you guys to understand what I'm saying. So, again, the notch right there still supports the rotation, and the hail core to the north also still supports the rotation. And as long as we have that little tail there to the left, there's the possibility of a tornado on the ground. All right, it's right over the Pennsylvania Turnpike. Actually, it looks like it's right over Lee Boulevard, the Phoenixville Pike. It's right over you guys, too. If you're on Yellow Springs Road or the Pennsylvania Turnpike, you got to get off the road there. All right, guys?
Dad, your song's on my tablet.
What, honey?
Your song's on my tablet.
My song's on your tablet?
Uh-huh.
What song is that?
See it? Feel it?
I do hear it. Do you want to give your daddy a hug?
Come on, Dad, let's go.
Hold on. I'm in the middle of doing some storm coverage. What do you think, Drew? Can we give Fraser the all clear? It looks pretty far north, doesn't it?
Yeah, let's stay north of there.
All right, so let's give Exton the all clear. I know you're under the tornado warning. You can come out. You don't need to be in the basement or the center part of your house anymore. Same thing with Fraser. You're in the all clear. I'm going to give Willistown and Upper Providence the all clear. Anybody south of Malvern, if you live south of Malvern and you're listening to me right now and you're getting a tornado warning, you are fine. Come back up. You do not need to be in the basement or the center part of your house. The storm is way far to the north. It's not going to be impacting you guys. You'll get a little rain out of it, but that should be about it. Looks like right now Chesterbrook is going to be in the direct... Oh, we're starting to lose that notch. That's a good sign. Chesterbrook, you're right in the heart of this. All right? You do not have much time now. You probably have about maybe 10 minutes. You should be thinking about where you need to be here. Don't forget your pets, your dogs. Take them all to the basement. Phoenixville got some pretty heavy rain and some hail probably being reported there. But also notice how far south that storm is from Phoenixville, the area that's rotating. So Phoenixville, even though you're getting heavy rain and some hail, the actual tornado part of the storm is going to pass by way south of you guys. So this is another area that I don't think really needs to be in the tornado warning right now. Charlestown. How about we just stay put in the basement for another 5 minutes or so? But you're getting pretty close to where I can give you guys the all clear too. All right, let's pan out, go a little bit wider, Drew, and let's see what that other storm's doing down there. They didn't warn it yet, huh? Southern Chester County. No, let's go up the northeast extension by Quakertown there, Drew. Let's see what's going on there. That's a big storm too, man. No warning. There's a lot of rain there. You can see it kind of just firing up near Boyertown and Pottstown, and then it just pushes off to the east, getting better organized. Could be some hail in that. Gusty winds, maybe 40, 45. Remember, in order to be labeled severe, you need winds of at least 58 miles per hour. We have some pretty good wind just off the deck at about 5,000 feet. We were talking about this earlier. It's not going to take much to get some of that wind transported down to the surface. Surprisingly, that is it.
Chris, looks like we got somebody in chat saying they're in Wilmington, Delaware, and they're shaking with anxiety. So maybe you want to give them a little bit of...
Let's see.
Nothing really going on down there at all right now.
No, thank you for the update there, Drew. You're fine in Wilmington. All right, you're under the severe thunderstorm watch. You're under the mesoscale discussion, the area that the SBC is most concerned about, but you're fine. The tornado-warned storm is in Chester County, so you don't have to worry in Wilmington. The sky's turning dark because of a storm that you've got off to the northwest. It's in southeastern Chester County, but it looks like it's moving away from you guys in Wilmington. All right? And listen, anyone listening to my voice, watching the coverage right now, There's no need to be afraid, okay? Just think about, there's only one warning that's in effect right now, and it's that little area in Chester County. So if you're listening to my voice living somewhere else, okay, just think about what you need to do, what you're going to do if a tornado warning gets issued for your area. Remember, number one, all right, you want to be in the basement. That should be the first place that you go, okay? If you don't have a basement, you go to the center part of your house. But you have to avoid the outside walls, and you have to avoid big open rooms. All right, lowest floors, small rooms. All right, trying to put as many walls in between you and the outside as possible. Keep your shoes on. Make sure your loved ones, all right, get on the phone with them. All right, text them, call them right now. Just say, hey, I don't know, Emma, do you know what to do if a tornado hits your area? All right, just make sure your family's aware of what's going on here, because there could end up being some more tornado warnings. Right now, the only tornado warning that's in effect is this one right here that is in east central Chester County. Looks like they've now issued a severe thunderstorm warning, Drew, for this one near Lansdale. We were just talking about that, the one up the northeast extension. Tornado tag is on this one too. Remember, everything's going to try to spin because of the breakdown, the setup of the atmosphere today. All right, so it says at 5:18, so this was, again, just issued, severe thunderstorm warning for south central Hunterdon County and northwest New Jersey, northwest Mercer County and central New Jersey, east central Montgomery County and southeastern Pennsylvania, central Bucks County. It's up until 6 p.m. Severe thunderstorm is located over Chalfont, or 20 miles north of Philadelphia, moving east at 30. The primary concern here is for strong, potentially damaging straight-line winds of 60, but there is a tornado tag on this. I'll tell you what, can we flip it over to velocity mode? Let's see what's going on and see whether or not we have any rotation there. Yeah. Drew, everything's going to try to spin today. Oh, there it is. Now, red is away and green is towards, right? The radar site.
Yes.
Do we know what's this is Dix. Okay, Fort Dix. All right, so that's your rotation. Yeah, right there. All right, this is right over Chalfont. And same thing, I don't know why they're doing this today. Lansdale, Hatfield, Souderton, Percy, you're in the warning, but the storm is well east of you guys. You're fine. You're not in the danger zone in any one of those towns that I just mentioned. All right, we do. Wow. Boy, that's tight. They're going to wind up popping a tornado warning for this one, too. All right, here we go. Jeez. Yeah. All right, I'll tell you what. Let's give them a head start here. Buckingham, how about, and Fountain View, how about we tell you guys right now to get to the basement, all right? We're going to put a storm track on that. That's some pretty good rotation showing up there. It's broad, but it just has to tighten up a little. You probably have a wall cloud here again or a funnel cloud trying to form. It's broad rotation at the moment, but that's good enough. They're probably going to wind up popping another warning. So again, Furlong, Buckingham, Fountain View. You guys need to be in the basement right now, calmly. All right, but quickly. Go to the basement. Make sure your shoes are on. All right, make sure you're grabbing your pets, your dogs. You have a little bit of time. You probably have at least 5, 6, 7 minutes, but again, you should be quickly going. Right now, it is just a severe thunderstorm warning. There's rotation in this storm, though. Doylestown is another location. Same thing. You guys in Doylestown, probably a good idea. There's no tornado warning yet, but we do have some pretty good rotation starting to develop here around New Britain. So Doylestown, same thing. Just out of an abundance of caution, how about we head down to the basement right now, okay? Looks like eventually it'll go under. Yeah, it's still broad. Hopefully, wow. What site was that, Drew? Yeah, look at the notch. Wow, look at the notch. Everything's going to try to spin today. So, All right, let's go back. We'll keep our eye on that one, Drew. Let's go back to the tornado warned storm there in Chester County. Let's flip it over to velocity mode, see how that one's doing. It's right over Chester Brook. There's nothing there anymore. There's nothing there. They're just going to let that tornado warning expire. What is it up to? It is in effect until when? Let's see. That tornado warning is in effect until 5:30. So, yeah, it's 5:23. They're just going to let that thing go. But as we flip it, you want to flip it back over real quick to storm relative velocity. I don't see anything there anymore. All right, but we still have the warning. So, Malvern's in the clear. You're fine. You okay, honey? See, yeah, see what
they're going to new severe thunderstorm warning just issued, so they looks like they're not going to continue the tornado warning.
Yeah, and that's the right call, right, Drew? Because there was nothing there anymore. So what they've done is now they
really fell apart.
Yeah, they took the storm, all right, and instead of issuing a tornado warning east into Philadelphia County, they've issued a severe thunderstorm warning instead. And that's the right call because there's nothing there anymore. I don't even see any rotation there anymore. But we still probably have winds up to 60 miles per hour. And remember, look, straight line winds can do a lot of damage. All right, I've seen instances where straight line winds do just as much damage, if not more, than an actual tornado. So we have that. And now, again, it is moving into a more heavily populated area here. So, again, the tornado warning, anybody that's still in a tornado warning, come back up. All right, you're fine. There's nothing there anymore. It's just heavy rain and straight line winds at this point. And everything east of there is now severe thunderstorm warning. What they're doing is they're just going to let this tornado warning expire. They're going to let it run its course, which is 5:30. Two storms that we have to watch closely. Not only that one there, but we got to watch this one that is just southwest of Westchester. That one is not warned yet. All right, and then we do have to watch this one that is warned in central Bucks County, Doylestown to be exact. All right, we have had some rotation there. It's broad. I do not see a warning issued, a tornado warning, but you can see all those lightning strikes. That has me concerned, and there's the rotation. Man. Yeah, that's some pretty good rotation. What do you think of that one? That one's pretty broad too, huh?
Yeah, it's kind of on the backside of the storm.
It's on the backside.
Not really in a good spot. We'll have to watch it, though, to see if those two sails right there try to merge. Because if they try to merge, then we might get some issues. Well, actually, it looks like that's split. See, it looks like it's split from one storm
I
into
do.
two. Now it may be trying to go back into another. So
Jeez.
we'll have to watch that, but not too worrisome yet.
I'll tell you what. Let's switch gears real quick. Let's go over to the outlooks. We'll come back to the radar here in a moment. Let's give everybody kind of an update on what's going on here today. We pan out a little bit. So you remember, this is where it all started here. The Storm Prediction Center, they categorize these severe weather events, right? They use a scale of 1 to 5. The higher the number, the greater the risk. And so the green, not the light shade of green, that dark shade. What the light shade of green means, it's just your general thunderstorm threat. Says, okay, hey, there could be a thunderstorm or two, not a big deal. The darker shade of green is a level 1. That's an isolated severe threat, meaning just 1 or 2. And then where you see this yellow, that is what they label as slight or scattered. And that means there could be several severe thunderstorms. We're clearly seeing that now. And they labeled this as a possible tornado event too. They started doing that yesterday. And there's your tornado threat. All right, so it's right over the heart of the Philadelphia area. What you have going on here is a warm front lifted to the north. And then you have this little mid-level disturbance in the atmosphere kind of rotating through. There's already rotation to begin with. And so some of that is being transported down to the surface, and that's why we're getting the tornado warnings now. The straight line wind threat is highest. Okay, you can see the yellow over most of the area. And the hail threat is pretty low, but it is right over Philadelphia. And look, we've already seen some pretty big hailstones. That one hail core, right, Joe? My gosh, in Chester County, there was definitely some big hailstones with that one. Okay, let's go back over to the radar. And you can see, actually, look out to the west or the left there towards Johnstown. Looks like we got some more big thunderstorms. What's going on out there? Yeah, that's a tornado warning southwest of Johnstown, Altoona. So remember, once this line pushes through, now it's broken. All right, there's a lot of empty real estate in between some of these storms. Once this line pushes through, this broken line, remember, we're not done. There's another system out here to the west. This is sort of a, I guess you could say like a long duration event, unfortunately. And there's going to be a couple of rounds. So maybe we get some pretty good thunderstorms here the next hour or two, things will settle down. And then maybe 5-6 hours later, we get another round of thunderstorms. Now, I think this initial punch right now is really what we have to worry about in terms of severe weather, not what comes later. But, after this comes and goes, we're not out of the woods yet. Yeah, it's broad. It's broad. Good. As long as it stays like that, we're not going to get a warning. That's broad rotation. Let's hope it stays that way. But you guys at home, do you see the rotation? You can clearly see it. Drew, I wish we had eyes on the ground out there. I wish we had a camera guy or a storm chaser out there. Where's your buddies? Can't we get them? Can't they fly in real quick? We get them out there?
I know, right? Let's get them on the phone.
That's one of the great... Yeah, okay, do me a favor, Drew, and draw the rotation there north of Warminster Township so the folks at home can see what we're looking at if you're just now tuning in. There's a lot of lightning with that, too. See that? Right there, what Drew's doing. All right, so what you have going on now, the radar site is in Fort Dix, well east of there. Red is away from the radar site, so it's winds that would be moving to the west or to the left, and green is towards. Okay? Yep, just like that. And the red is moving like that. Bingo. That's your rotation. All right? Because, again, the radar site is southeast. All right? It's near where he circled, Manchester Township there in southern New Jersey. So what we're doing is we're shooting the beam into this storm. All right? And the storm is it's bouncing off of the rain and everything and sending a message back to the radar signal. And that's what it's showing, the rotation there. It's incredible what we can do now with Doppler radar. Just think about this in the 1990s, and this is why you can't put too much into this whole global warming claim, because again, of course you're going to have more warnings now. We have so much technology now that it's almost like we're going from the Stone Ages to now, and so back in the early and mid 90s, you couldn't even measure wind with a Doppler radar. So the only way that we could ever tell if there was a tornado on the ground or even a wall cloud or even a funnel cloud was someone had to see it. Well, we didn't even have these kind of iPhones or anything then either. So think about that. We didn't have any of that then. Now look what we have. Now we can measure the wind in a storm because of Doppler radar. We have dual pol. Now we can tell you how big the hail core is because we have Doppler radar. We have dual pol. We didn't have any of this. And now everybody's got a camera in their phone. So, it's a lot easier nowadays to get the information to where it needs to be than it was, 20 years ago, 25 years ago. All right, here's a look at the storms. There's 3 of them that we're watching. One east of the northeast extension in central Bucks County. We have another one just west of King of Prussia right now. Looks like it's still riding. Boy, this thing's taking a ride on the Pennsylvania Turnpike. Damage report. All right, here we go. This was from Jason Nee. He says an entire tree down on Newark Road. Multiple large branches, at least 4 inches in diameter, down on Newark Road and Clonmel Mill Road. Boy, that's a mouthful. Near the intersection of the two. All right, so this is Chester County. That's the storm. I'm surprised they haven't popped a warning for that, Drew. I really am. That's the one that's in Westchester right now. Big rains and some hail.
Yeah, I'm kind of shocked too. So just, if we're not getting severe winds, it's probably at least 40 to 50, 55 gusts maybe.
Yeah, I think you're right. Land of the Mushroom, Kennett Square, big storm pulling away from you guys right now. That is an interesting look. Why is it doing that? Why would it be on the back side like that?
Side of the storm.
What's that?
We're going to have to watch that because that's trying to develop a hook on the back side of that storm right there. Do you see that?
Yeah, I do. It's weird. You don't see that often.
Spot, but it is rotation, so we're going to have to watch that coming into Westchester.
Wow. You know, it's always fun, too, being zoomed in this tight.
You know what that is?
What is it?
That's anticyclonic.
Interesting.
Green toward, red away, right?
So what would that be, gust front?
Ah,
Would that be maybe
I'm
the
not
backside
sure.
of a
That's
gust
kinda got
front?
me stumped. Or it may even be a downburst situation.
Yes. You know what, Drew? That's probably exactly what you're seeing. Those are probably downburst winds. That would be straight line, by the way, guys. Yep, right there. All right, so let's get everybody caught up and let's see where we are here. So we've got no more tornado warnings. All tornado warnings have been expired. We have 2 severe thunderstorm warnings. The first one is up for lower Bucks County. And that one's up until 6:15. And then and it's also Montgomery County, right, and northern part of Philadelphia County. We have another one for Bucks that's up until 6 p.m. So basically, it is lower Bucks and central Bucks, severe thunderstorm warning, lower Montgomery, and the northern 2/3 of Philadelphia County, also severe thunderstorm warning, and that one is until 6:15. I'm sorry. And I'll be right back. I'm going to step away for 1 second, okay, guys? Drew, I'll be right back. 1 second.
Sounds good.
All right. All right, let's see. All right, so looks like we have these 2 severe thunderstorm warnings. Can we go a little bit wider? Can we pan out, just go a little bit wider? Got some more pretty good stuff up there towards Brookhaven and Bridgeport. But this is it. You know, I mean, look, the storms we're getting are pretty big. They're pretty strong. I'm a little surprised we're not seeing a little bit more. I'm wondering if you're going to get a flare up there in South Jersey in another couple hours here, like maybe around 7:30. Because look at that stuff towards Baltimore, right over the Chesapeake. Right there. See that? Now remember, South Jersey's an area that hasn't gotten hit yet, so you got a lot of instability right now, very warm temperatures. Drew, let's go over to dew points. Let's check those out. Let's see what the dew points are doing. Dew points, remember, is a measure of the amount of moisture that's in the air. Oh, my gosh. You know what, babe? This is still better than Florida.
I know, 71 earlier, and I'm like, that ain't bad.
So our dew points in Florida, oh, I've told you guys this, upper 70s to right around 80 every day. So think about how it feels right now. Times it by 5. That's how bad the humidity was down there. We would beg for a day with dew points in the low 70s down there. Look at that. Well, you can really see they came up nice, though, huh? And that's your, right there. Remember, humidity creates instability. That's my little saying. Humidity creates instability. The higher those dew points get, the more unstable the atmosphere becomes. Okay? The more unstable the atmosphere becomes, the better the chances are of not only getting thunderstorms, but something strong to possibly severe. And then you take into account the wind just off the deck. It's called the low-level jet. And you've got the ingredients for a pretty good storm. Did you, babe, where's the meat?
Under the taco shell.
Should we put that in the fridge?
I was trying to keep it warm. How long are you going to be?
I don't know. I guess that's fine. You're right. That's fine. Drew, can we go over to temperature? Let's go over to temperature real quick. 86, huh? Wow, look at Allentown. Rain cooled, Drew. Whew. That's nice. So we go from 67 in Allentown to 86 in Philadelphia. Wow.
Can you give Daddy a hug? You take that too?
Gonna show some CAPE. Okay, now what you're looking at here is CAPE, convective available potential energy, or the amount of energy that's in the atmosphere. Wow, no way. It's over 3,000? That is massive.
Oh, so they can see if I do this?
You stop that. My wife thinks she's funny. I-
We'll see you soon, Daddy.
honey, give me a hug. Okay, come here. Give Daddy's a hug. Ugh. I'm going to see you in a little bit, okay? Okay, honey. Daddy loves you. Be good, okay? I'll be right there. Okay.
Mommy, help.
I gotcha. Okay. I'll see you in a little bit, honey.
Okay.
Would you flip it up by, babe? Significant tornado parameter. Judy, you know, I'll never forget, there was a day, this is a measure of the amount of instability that produces tornadoes. The higher this number gets, the better the chances are of seeing tornadoes. There was an event that we did out in Kentucky where we had widespread 4,000 joules in terms of CAPE, and we had the significant tornado parameter over 10. That was an event that we had once, and it was nuts. We had so many tornado warnings, it was crazy. So in this part of the country, 2 is actually a pretty high number. I know it's on the lower end of the scale, but remember, things are different here than they are in the Tornado Alley part of the country. So those 2s, those yellows, those are high numbers for the Delaware Valley. All right, so it's definitely supportive of a rotating storm. You know what, Drew? How about we do this? Can we do rainfall totals right now? Do we happen to have any of them coming in yet? I see. That's composite reflectivity. There's radar. There we go. Ooh. Yeah, not bad. Now that was, Drew, that was the storm that pushed through around, I guess, 2 o'clock this afternoon.
Yeah, earlier today.
Yeah, that was the one that ran right over Center City. And now these are the ones that are coming through now. So you can see the Doppler radar estimates are about 1.75 inches. That's pretty good. Now, fortunately, we haven't seen any flood warnings yet because these storms are actually moving and they're not training yet. All right, so as long as this continues, where the storms are moving 30, 35 miles per hour, and we're not seeing them move over the same areas over and over again, we should avoid the flash flooding. Remember, we have a flash flood watch up for the I-95 corridor. We also have the severe thunderstorm watch up, and that one's up until 9. That's up for the whole area. That's pretty neat, Drew. I like that. That shows you where the heavy rain is. Look at all the lightning strikes in that Chester County storm. Remember lightning. Remember the rule. If you can hear thunder, you're close enough to be struck by lightning. Got to head inside. All right, guys? You can get what's called a bolt from the blue. All right. Thunder and lightning, this is a little surprising to some of you probably, but lightning can strike 10 miles away from a thunderstorm. 10 miles. Think about that. That's a far way. So if you're looking at the distance and you think the storm is past, that bolt of lightning can still push about 10 miles away, even though you may have clear skies. And that's why I always say, one, even if you can hear thunder and it's remote, it's not really loud, but you still hear the rumbling in the distance, you're still too close. I know it sounds odd, but I can't tell you how many times we've had a bolt from the blue, strike someone or something, and people are like, where did this come from? So, got to be careful with lightning too. Let's look at the 3 storms. It looks like they're trying to merge and become something more linear, which is good because that would take the tornado threat away. All right, while you guys are looking at this here, I'm just doing some reading real quick. Remember, we have 2 severe thunderstorm warnings that are up right now. And those 2 warnings, one includes Norristown and just about all of Philadelphia County except for South Philadelphia. And then we have another one. There it is right there. That one's up till 6:15, and that one's mainly for strong straight line winds. It does have a tornado tag. I don't see any rotation, so I'm assuming that tornado tag is because it previously had rotating winds. So they're just going to keep the tag on it. But there's another one here in Lower Bucks County, east of Doylestown. Now, this one also has a tornado tag to it. Winds of 60 miles per hour and hail less than 3/4 of an inch in diameter. All right, that rotation is pretty broad. You can see it there. You don't have green touching red. All right, so that's good. That's a sign that that's not going to try to... I mean, there's rotation there, but as long as we don't see those two get tighter, we should be okay, and it's more or less just going to end up being a straight line wind event. All right. By the way, I want to introduce we got a couple new sponsors. Our friends Keys to the Castle. It's a travel company. A really good travel company here. Keys to the Castle Travel. They're a full-service travel agency. They specialize in unforgettable vacations for families, couples, groups, and luxury travelers. Their team of expert travel advisors provide personalized planning services, which is good, right? For cruises, theme park vacations, including Disney, all-inclusive resorts, guided tours, and destinations around the world. They combined first-hand travel experience with industry expertise to help clients make informed decisions and maximize the value of their vacation investment. Again, the name is Keys to the Castle. Check them out. Keys to the Castle Travel. I need a vacation. I was on the phone with the owner the other day, and they do a lot with Disney. So right there, I immediately perked up. You know how frequently little Paigey and I and Lori go to Disney, right? It's about 5 times a year. So as soon as he said Disney, I was like, really? Again, that's Keys to the Castle Travel. If you're looking to plan a vacation, give them a call. They can help you out. Their website is posted on my website, SowersSkywatch.com. Okay, so it looks like the National Weather Service is chipping away at that severe thunderstorm warning here across Bucks County. It looks like the warning is now east of Doylestown, if I'm correct. If Doylestown is still in the warning, the storm is well east of Doylestown at this point. Yeah, let's zoom in a little bit. There's Buckingham. Let's see. Can you go a little tighter? Where's Doylestown? What, did Doylestown disappear? All right, there's Furlong. So Furlong is in the clear. You're still in the warning, but you're in the clear. Buckingham is also in the warning, but you're in the clear. Richboro still getting hit hard. Upper Makefield Township and Newtown Grant all getting hit really, really hard. A lot of heavy rain. Winds up to about 40 miles per hour and some hail. And there's a look at the high-resolution storm relative velocity mode. And it looks like we've got winds blowing at about 40. I saw a 47, I think, there, Drew, at one point. 40. There it is. So it looks like the peak is 47. Remember, severe is 58 miles per hour or higher. All right, so right now, this would not indicate, even though we have the severe thunderstorm warning, right now I do not see severe thunderstorm winds in it, which is good. All right, so it's right over Newtown Grant, Upper Makefield Township. And if it holds together, it'll be crossing over the river, pushing into Mercer County here shortly. Yardley, you're in the path of this. Again, it's not a tornado warning. It's just a severe thunderstorm warning. Winds up to about 47 miles per hour. Trenton also going to be in the path of this thing. Right over 295. Man, I'm going to have to go to the doctor and get this cough looked at all of a sudden. All right, so we got a track on there. And it looks like, what time do we got here? It's 5:47. So these are correct, the times that you see in front of you here. The storm's moving east at about 35. So it looks like Lower Makefield Township, about 8 minutes from now, 5:52. Let's put you guys right in the heart of this thing. Winds up to about 45 miles per hour and a lot of blinding heavy rain. Some cloudy ground lightning strikes, although it does look like we're starting to lose those strikes now. Ewing Township, 5:58. Trenton, right around 6 p.m. Lawrence Township, 6:06. Princeton, 6:11. Princeton's made the big dance now a couple years in a row. NCAA basketball tournament. East Windsor 614, West Windsor 614, and then Plainsboro Township also 614, Robbinsville Township 614. All right, so this is moving again into a pretty heavily populated area here. Florence Township, you're fine at the moment there in northwest Burlington County, but you got some big storms off to the west. Skies are probably turning really, really dark. Same thing with Willingboro. You were hit earlier today. You're going to get hit again, this time from a storm that's to the west. Northeast Philadelphia, same thing. You were hit once earlier. Now you've got another cell heading your way. Let's put a tracker on that one. Here's a look. Looks like Ben Salem around 6:01. It's about 12 minutes from now. Cheltenham, 5:47, so it's over you guys now. Ben Salem, 6:01. Croydon, 6:05. Willingboro and Middletown Township, 6:06. Bristol, 6:09. Levittown, 6:11. Falls Township, 6:15. Florence, 6:15. And Bordentown, 6:16. Just some stratiform rains right now in Deptford and Glassboro and Paulsboro. More convective type stuff out here to the north of Tallyville, though, north of Greenville, right there on the county line. All right, so we've got Delco and let's say Newcastle County. That's all heavy rain right now, though. There's the movement, southwest to northeast. Actually, I'm stunned, and I've been saying this. I'm stunned they didn't issue a warning for this. I really am. We've already got reports of damage with that cell. Really, really stunned that they didn't issue a warning. Chester Heights, some pretty heavy rains. Upper Providence, Swarthmore. Hopefully, all right, hopefully this rain all right. Drew, do you want to set that in motion real quick? Yeah, that's good. That's a good track, Drew. Right there over the stadium around 6:15. That cell will be pushing, if it holds together, and I don't see why it wouldn't. If it holds together, it's going to be over Chester in like a couple minutes. It's raining there now, but the heaviest stuff is still to the west. Chester gets some downpours in about 5 minutes. And then right there over the stadiums and the airport in Philadelphia around 6:15. Let me, Drew, can I take the control for a second? I'll show you what I'm going to do.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so the stadiums and the airport are right about here. Okay? That's where you saw the Phillies beat up the Mets yesterday. All right, so it looks like this is going to be... Oh, what did I do? All right, trying to draw and I just did something. Okay, so it's going to be moving east, just like that. Okay, go ahead, Drew. Now remember, it is rush hour too. You got a lot of people on the roads right now. And 42 is already always a mess, even when it's not raining. Crossing over the Walt Whitman Bridge, getting ready to move on to 42 is going to be a fun ride home. Hopefully most folks are home now. Also the Schuylkill Expressway. Don't have to tell you about the Schuylkill. Princeton, Hopewell Township, Lambertville. Yeah, that's very, very broad. That's good. I'm glad that never tightened up. Let's go over to the model, Drew. Let's see. I started noticing something this morning. The modeling was trying to throw back some convective activity tomorrow afternoon now, too. It's almost like the front didn't want to push through yet anymore. So, going to be interesting to see whether or not we get some thunderstorms again tomorrow, too. All right, so we'll set it in motion. All right, this clearly is not, well, wait, that's 7. So, yeah, it does look like South Jersey gets hit at that point. Now, as we progress along into Tuesday, so this is after midnight. See how everything settles down? All right, now as we get into Tuesday, watch this stuff out here to the west. See this around the Mason-Dixon line? That's 9 a.m. Look at that. So the interesting thing here, that's 11 a.m. The interesting thing here is, I know we have a flash flood watch up today, but I'm wondering if we actually get the flooding tomorrow. That's a lot of heavy rain. So what we're doing here is we're putting the QPF, yeah, yeah. Look at that. Look at that at Cape May, the point there. Yep, right there. Wow. Yeah, I'm wondering if we wind up getting the flooding tomorrow, even though the flood watch is up today. That's heavy rain. That's a lot of heavy rain. Remember, the flash flood watch is up for the I-95 corridor at the moment and about 20 miles on either side of the Delaware River. It's mainly for urbanized areas, poor drainage areas, and low-lying areas, smaller creeks and streams. The typical areas that flood during a heavy rain event. But what's interesting is, again, what you just saw there would lead me to believe that the worst of this is actually going to occur tomorrow now as far as the rain and not necessarily tonight. There's the mesoscale discussion that was issued by the Storm Prediction Center. It's part of the reason why they issued the severe thunderstorm watch. What they do is they try to issue the discussions first to let everybody know, hey guys, look, this is the area we're watching. And then the local National Weather Service office will take that information and decide whether or not they want to issue a watch. And they did, and now we've got a couple of warnings within that watch. Okay. Oh, my sister-in-law is watching me right now. Hi, sissy. Wendy Berklin. I'm sorry. Why did I just call her that? It's Wendy Flamma. Oh, my gosh. You know why I called her that? Because I joke around and I call my wife by that last name. Because I always joke around and say, Lori Berklin. And it's Lori Sowers. Jeez. Sorry, Wendy. I had her for the longest time, too. I had her listed in my phone as Berklin. I don't even know why. Her last name's Flamma. Mr. Dan Flamma. All right. I swear, with the way my memory and everything is anymore, you would think I was 70 years old. All right, there's a look at the thunderstorms. All right. What did they just push that thunderstorm warning east now? Looks like they expanded it, right? Mercer County. Yeah, that's a good call. We still got a pretty good sell there. All right, let's read you the latest the latest warning coming in. This one's up until 6:45, so it's up for about an hour, about 50 minutes here. The severe thunderstorm located over Woodside or near Trenton, and it is moving east at 30, so it's moving along pretty good. It is radar indicated, but we've seen some of the damage reports already, and we're getting reports of damage to roofs and siding and trees and power lines down and things like that. So that could be what the Trenton area is looking at with this storm as it approaches from the west. So again, there's really two storms there's three of them total, but the two that we're watching are the ones on the northern part of this broken line. So they're both north of Philadelphia right now. And it looks like we've got, there they are. Strong gusty winds again is the primary concern here this evening. 60, 65 miles per hour. I did see earlier a thunderstorm with reported 70-mile-an-hour winds, but it was just out of our viewing area. It was in the Harrisburg television market. And, of course, every one of these storms has rotation to some degree. They all have tornado tags on them. Now, we've only seen the one tornado warning. That was for central portions of Chester County, and we did have reports of a wall cloud. A storm reporter, a storm spotter out there saw the wall cloud. We had two reports of a wall cloud. We had a report of a funnel cloud. So we had really good rotation with that storm. That is the same storm that is in western Philadelphia County now, so where Manayunk is and towards King of Prussia. That is the same storm, but we've lost the rotation. So what the Weather Service did was they discontinued the tornado warning, and instead they issued a severe thunderstorm warning. Right there is the velocity mode. This is how we detect rotating winds. You're looking at inbound and outbound winds from a radar site. That radar site happens to be Fort Dix, which is well east of here. So the reds represent winds blowing away from the radar site. The greens represent winds that are blowing towards the radar site. So you can clearly see there is rotation there. Drew's going to draw this for you. There's a look at the rotation. But the saving grace here is it's a very broad rotation. You don't have the brightest red stacked up against the brightest green. If you did, we'd have another tornado warning, and that rotation would be close to the ground. So as long as those two very bright colors stay separated like that, we should have to deal with nothing more than just straight line winds. All right, and that's what we're seeing at the moment. So that, again, is the storm that was originally warned by a tornado warning out there in Chester County. Looks like now it's just straight line. Here's the other one here, pulling well east of Doylestown at this point. Looks like it's going to be moving into Falls Township. It's over lower Makefield Township. This is also a straight line windstorm right now. It is severe. I have not seen any kind of rotation with this, which is good, recently anyway. And there it is. All right, so that's straight line. Drew, are we able to put a wind tracker on there so we can see what the wind speeds are? Last check, I think they were reported 47 miles per hour. So let's see what we got now. 43. That's not a severe storm, guys. They've got a warning up. That is not a severe storm. There's no wind in there, even remotely close to 58 miles per hour. That is not a severe storm. But because the Weather Service has issued a severe thunderstorm warning, let's run with it. So, severe storm in Lower Bucks County, just west of Trenton. All right. Winds again about 40 miles per hour. That's what they're calling severe, guys. This one towards Westchester is starting to look a little interesting now, too. Out there, if you look towards the left. See that? See that, Drew? Yeah. The fact that it's starting to tighten up in a little ball. All right, nothing there yet. Just some heavy rain. All right, so the modeling, again, if you tuned in late, the modeling does show the potential for another round of heavy thunderstorms tomorrow afternoon. And right now, I know the flash flood watch is up, but I think, the flooding issues are going to end up being tomorrow. As crazy as that sounds, because right now there's nothing in effect for tomorrow. What we're looking at here, well, what you just saw there was Doppler radar estimates, and some areas have picked up a good 1 to 2 inches of rain now. But again, the saving grace is we're not seeing the training. All right, or in other words, the storms are not moving over the same areas over and over again. And they're also moving pretty well. They're moving at about 30 miles per hour now. And if they were moving more like 10 or 15 miles per hour at a slower clip, then we'd probably have a couple of flash flood warnings up. But they're hauling. They're moving about 30 miles per hour. Drew's putting on some of the METAR reports to go along with the radar. So now what you see on the map here, remember the colors that you see for the radar, all that ever shows is how heavy the rain is coming down. Now, we can sometimes get an indication of hail if you start seeing the purples and that black color too, the blackish gray. You start seeing that on the radar return, and there's a good bet you're getting hail. But really, all the reflectivity ever shows you is how heavy the precipitation is. All right. Now, he also was just putting on some of the METAR reports. So if you look closely, they're small, but if you look closely, we have air temperatures on there and we have dew points on there. Quakertown is down to 68 degrees. It's a rain-cooled 68, but my goodness, that's got to feel incredible. Looks like they just bounced up to 70, but you have a dew point of 70, so it's muggy. Around Philadelphia, east of Philadelphia, it's still very warm. Southern New Jersey has not seen much yet. 82 degrees right now there. That's Mount Holly, KVAY. Looks like scattered clouds. Visibility's good. But if you go to the west, you got the dark clouds and the rain falling in western Gloucester and Camden counties. Cherry Hill's getting wet. Paulsboro, West Deptford, Thoroughfare, National Park, Belmar, Westville, all of those areas seeing some rain at the moment. Woodbury, looks like you guys are getting some light rain right now. Chester, right over the Chester, is that the name of the bridge? It is the Chester Bridge, right? I'm sorry, Commodore Barry Bridge. Commodore Barry Bridge getting some heavy rain. Chester's getting some heavy rain. It looks like now the airport's starting to get some heavy rain. And I'm going to tell you right now, we're going to end up seeing some airport delays here because this is going to run right over the airport. There it is right there. That's the airport. You're probably going to get a ground stoppage here too. What do you think, Drew? You think they'll stop flights?
Yeah, at least till that cell gets through.
Yeah. You're probably going to get a ground stoppage here in a couple minutes if they haven't already done so. PHL International. Essington getting hit really hard. A lot of heavy rain and some hail south of Chester. There's the Paulsboro area, west of 295 in southern New Jersey. They're getting hit good too. Boy, it's a good thing I didn't do this outside today, or I'd have to kind of pack up and run inside here. All right, at 6 p.m., severe thunderstorm warning located over Chester. Yes, it is. 11 miles northeast of Wilmington, moving east at 35. It's radar indicated 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. And same thing, every one of these has a tag of potential damage to roofs and sidings and trees and, power lines, things like that. They all have tornado tags except this one. This one does not have a tornado tag, right? I don't see a tornado tag on this one. No, I do not see a tornado tag on that, which is good. I just thought about this because I saw it in the write-up there. Do we have a soccer game going on right now at the stadium? Oh, that's not good. We might. There might be a soccer game right now there in South Philadelphia. That's a big, looks like someone took a paintball gun and splat right over Chester. Same thing with northeast Philadelphia, or just west. A lot of light. You know what? Let's go to that little ball there. Look at all those lightning strikes around Philly northeast. Yeah, wow. Look at the hail. Do we have any rotation there, Drew? Because that's the cell that was rotating at one point. It's broad, huh? Although, look at that little area just west of northeast Philly. It looks like it's trying to tighten up a little bit. I'm wondering if we're going to end up getting a tornado warning out of that guy again. See it right there? Yeah, Drew's going to draw. Yep, right there. And the area, can I take the control for a second, Drew? The area that I'm kind of watching is right. So this is the broad rotation that Drew just circled here. Okay, or in other words, wind's going like this. Okay, boy, I can't draw an arrow to save my life. And then on the other side, winds going like this, okay? But what I'm kind of concerned about is this right here, that area. But the broader rotation is here. This whole thing is rotating. But I'm kind of concerned about this right here. All right, we're going to have to watch that and see what happens here. Go ahead, Drew. You can take the controls. Drew's doing a great job. That's my buddy down in, everybody say hi to Drew down there in Alabama, Greenbow, Alabama. There isn't even a town as named Greenbow, is there, Drew? A fictional name for the movie?
I think it's fictional. Yep.
Yeah. You remember the movie, right, Drew?
I love the movie.
Yeah, movie's great. Forrest Gump. I think you should come home to Greenbow, Alabama. Jenny. That's a great movie. He was in so many good movies. He was in the prime of his career at that point. He did that other one too, that space one. Apollo something, like Apollo 13 or something. That was another really good movie he was in. And then, of course, Saving Private Ryan. I think he won like Oscars or something for Academy Awards for every one of them. There's northeast Philly. Cheltenham. Getting hit again. Boy, you guys, this is just a bad day for that area. But there it is. There's that little hail core. And what you're looking at there is the vertically integrated liquid. That's how we measure whether or not we're getting hail. And that's a pretty good return there by Glenside. Now keep in mind, there's about a 2-minute delay here. So it's probably a little bit farther to the east, given that the storms are moving 35 miles per hour. But you see, yeah, boy, that's a nice little bullseye there. Got another one here towards Paulsboro. Let's go down there. Actually, it's just southwest of Paulsboro. It's around Bridgeport. That's a good one. So it looks like Mickleton and Gibbstown going to be in the path of this. Wow. Yeah. You got some hail falling in that one. So we're on the other side of the Delaware River now into southern New Jersey. Crossing right over 295. Looks like you're right there just north of 322. This used to be an area that was so beautiful. It still is, but they keep building. They keep building all these warehouses out there on 322 now. You know, like the Amazon buildings and all these other ones. It just doesn't look as pretty out there as it used to. They're doing the same thing on Route 40 as you get closer to the Turnpike entrance. I mean, I guess you need them. I guess you need those buildings. It just, I hate seeing that because it's such beautiful country in this state. All right, you got some more weather out here to the southwest. Elkton, Maryland. So that's Cecil County. All right, you got some thunderstorms heading your way. Most of Newcastle County is in the clear at this point now. Most. All right, and it's still really, really warm. Geez, look at Newcastle. It's still 88 degrees. You need a thunderstorm, guys, to cool you guys down a little bit. Deptford Township, the Deptford Mall. Looks like you guys have about 10 minutes. If you're in the Deptford Mall and you're trying to run out to your car now, I would suggest doing it now. You have about 10 minutes and it's going to pour. It's going to monsoon on you guys. All right, Deptford Township, if you head west, Mulligan Hill. Looks like you guys are going to get hit in about 5 minutes. What's north of Mulligan Hill? Deptford, what else is out there? Woodbury. Woodbury's an area that's getting hit pretty good probably. Yeah, Washington Township, skies are probably turning pretty dark. I can't see because I'm in the basement. I'm in the Sowers dungeon. But the Washington Township area, the skies are probably looking really, really dark out to the west. All right, let's see what they're going to do here. Did they just issue that warning? I closed my eyes for a second and something looked different. I think they did. All right, severe thunderstorm warning until 6:45. Let's see what this one says. At 6 o'clock. All right, severe thunderstorm was located over Chester. No, okay, that's the one I read already. All right, so that's been there. Set it in motion for you. Yeah, right over. They are definitely stopping. They're definitely stopping flights. Nobody's flying out of Philadelphia International. Nobody's landing right now. You got to watch these things. I mean, these are the kind of storms where you get the downburst winds. All right. And so that's how. Now we have Doppler radar technology to warn us of this stuff now. But think about it. We didn't have that back in the day. I just told you, especially in the 90s and early 2000s. So. I mean, one of the worst flight accidents ever recorded was towards Dallas-Fort Worth. They were landing, and the radar didn't really have the ability to pick up the downburst winds. And so as the plane was landing, it was pouring over the airport, and they didn't know that there was a downburst there. And so the downburst winds, which is, I mean, if you're flying, you're trying to land, the downburst winds are coming down, and they just push the plane all the way down. It caused the plane to crash, and I believe everybody on board died. So this is part of why you get a situation like this. Even if it wasn't severe, nobody's landing, nobody's flying in, nobody's flying out. It's just, done out of an abundance of caution. There's no need to. The planes can circle the airport for, 20 minutes until this thing pushes through, or they're diverted. But right now we're zoomed into South Philly, right over the stadiums, and I do believe there is a soccer game. And so folks are going to be seeking shelter. I don't see a ton of lightning strikes here. But we had quite a few earlier. West Deptford getting pummeled right now. Deptford, home of the Spartans. You guys getting some heavy rain now. Mantua Township, that's a beautiful part of the state too. Looks like you guys have some really heavy rain pushing through. Mickleton, heavy rain. Mulligan Hill, heavy rain. Washington Township still in the clear for now. Boy, it's got to be pitch black off to the west, though. There's a look at it. Everything pushing off to the east. All right. Let's go back over again to the outlooks here. So this is what was issued. And right now I'd say this is panning out pretty nicely. Storm Prediction Center yesterday. Was it yesterday? I believe it was yesterday, where they upgraded us to this level 2. No, they had us in a level 2 2 days ago. They expanded it north yesterday. Originally it was south of Philadelphia, but then what they did was yesterday they decided to take this entire area and just lift the yellow all the way up into the Lehigh Valley, the New York City area, southern Poconos. And actually, this is lining up very, very nicely with what they have out. So the level 2, again, is on a scale of 1 to 5, and level 2 means scattered, heavy thunderstorms in this area. Up here, all right, this shade of green here, all right, this stuff here, that is all what we call isolated, meaning maybe 1 or 2 storms turn strong to severe. This is the jackpot area. You don't ever want to see enhanced, which is orange, because if you see enhanced, then you got some real problems. That's when you start looking at widespread thunderstorms everywhere, power outages, winds up to 70, strong wedge-shaped tornadoes. So we don't have that, obviously, but if we ever get into, for future events, that's what you don't ever want to see. You don't ever want to see orange, you don't ever want to see red, and you don't ever want to see pink in these outlooks. Here's a look at the tornado threat. That's another thing that they've pegged this beautifully. This is exactly the area that is seeing, the tornado warnings. Straight line winds, same thing. It's all in the good area. It looks like they did a good job with this. Hail threat, boy, we've had some monster hailstones, monsters up to this point. Here's a look at the satellite. We also have some of the METAR reports on there too. And you can see those big puffy clouds across interior South Jersey. Look at the rain-cooled air right here. Look at this. Wow. That's got to feel amazing. How does 68 degrees in Allentown and Quakertown sound? 64 in the Poconos. Yeah, not too shabby. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. And then, actually, is this your sea breeze? This might be your sea breeze down here. Upper 70s, because we don't have any rain down here. Still pretty toasty here. A lot of mid to upper 80s, and you got very high dew points. Same thing with Wilmington. All right. 86 to 88 degrees. No thunderstorms there yet, but this is where they are. They're right here. All right, so you're fine at the moment. But look. There they are. There they are right there. They're getting close. Set it in motion for you. All right, so you got a bunch of colors on this map. All right, I guess it's like an orangey, like a light orange. Notice how every county's colored in this light orange. That's a severe thunderstorm watch. The brighter shades of yellow, those are severe thunderstorm warnings, and it looks like they just added one here. For this one in Mercer County, that was the cell we were looking at earlier. We didn't have any winds that were severe in that, though. We had winds up to 45, and that was it. So maybe this is getting a little bit stronger up there now. But again, notice all the action is pretty much from Philadelphia north. Seems to be a little break south of there right now, but we'll have to keep our eyes on some of these thunderstorms moving over the eastern shores of Maryland here. The modeling initially actually was showing this area here, right here, as the area that would get hit the hardest. So with that being said, let's just watch these storms very, very closely, eastern shores of Maryland, and see how they evolve over the next couple of hours. Up, looks like we have our first flash flood warning right there. All right, let's zoom in. All right, let's see what's going on here. Right there. Flash flood warning issued by the National Weather Service. Let's see what they're saying. Let's see. This one's up for Delaware County. Doppler radar indicated thunderstorms producing heavy rain. Between 1 and 1.5 inches of rain has fallen. The expected rainfall rate is 1 to 2 inches an hour. That's what does it, all right? Because it doesn't give the storm drains a chance to catch up. And so if you live in a poor drainage area, it's just some kind of area that really has a hard time letting the water drain, then you're going to get flooding here, especially urban areas. So the expected rainfall rate is between 1 and 2 inches an hour. Additional rainfall amounts between 1/2 inch and 1.5 inches are possible. So that's on top of the 1 to 2. And this is an area, think about the terrain out here. It's rocky. It's very, very rocky. You have a lot of little valleys here where the rain just kind of drains from the higher hilltops. And so it's very easy to get the flooding out here. You cannot hold nearly as much rain north and west, the soil can't, as you can south and east. I mean, it is leaps and bounds, all right? So let's say, for example, this area here, right here, everybody east, especially out and through here, maybe you can handle 1.5 to 2.5, all right? And then here, hold on, let me get this. This area here, All right, this area here, Pine Barrens, southern New Jersey. That's a terrible circle. I apologize. But that area that you're looking at there that I kind of zoomed in on, this area can hold up to 4 or 5 inches of rain before you start worrying about flooding. And again, the reason why is because of the terrain. All right, this is all flat here. This is coastal plain. The soil is more sandy in nature, so it holds water. All right, then you go north of the Delaware River, and all of a sudden you get into the rocky, hilly terrain. All right, smaller creeks and streams, everything kind of drains in these small valleys, and you can't hold, think of it, rocky terrain is not going to hold water very well. And so that's why it's like 1 to 2 to the north and west, and like 3 to 5 south and east. You can get a lot heavier of a rainstorm and not have to worry about flooding in New Jersey than you can in the southeast Pennsylvania suburbs. Boy, we got a slew of warnings up now, huh? This whole thing is warned from just north of Chester all the way up to Trenton and Princeton, heading into Middlesex County there in central New Jersey. The debate is still on whether or not a central New Jersey actually exists. I say it does. I guess technically there's a northern New Jersey and a southern New Jersey, but I've always said there's a central New Jersey. Why not, right? That's a big ball of rain. Look at that thing, man. Let's go over to South Jersey here, Gloucester County. Whew, that's a big ball of rain. All right, my Spartan friends in Deptford. And what is West Deptford? Is West Deptford the Eagles? I think West Deptford's the Eagles. Paulsboro is the Red Raiders. Good wrestling program. Actually, West Deptford and Paulsboro, good high school wrestling programs. Deptford's had their good years too. But anyway, those 3 areas pounded right now. Heavy drenching downpours. Notice the hail core there east of Mickleton. All right, so you probably have right here, this is a hail core showing up. Especially that right there. See that little blip right there? You probably got some really good hailstones right there. All right, that's all moving to the east. It's moving to the east at about 30 miles per hour. So next up is going to be Mantua. And let's see. Winona. That's another area that's really, really neat. They do a lot of, I think it's the Memorial Day parade. They do a really good job with it. Because I know Pittman does the 4th of July parade. So I think oh wait, Glassboro does the Memorial Day. Does Winona do it too? I think it's the Memorial Day parade. They do a good parade here, though, in the Winona area. It's a really nice historic downtown area there. All right, there's a look right here. You're looking at Route 55. There's Sewell, this blue line here. That's Route 55. So the heavy thunderstorms right now. It's raining pretty good over Route 55 from, let's say, Pittman and Richwood north up into the Deptford Mall area, and then eventually when it merges up to 42, it's pouring right now in Belmar and Westville and National Park, Haddon Township, heavy rains. This whole area getting clobbered. There's a big fat blob of rain. Woodbury Heights, some big rain there too. Visibility down in some cases to less than a mile. All right, you're probably seeing some ponding on the roads now too. All right, hail being reported west of Mantua Township. That's moving east. Glendora and Runnymede, right near Paul VI High School. Some really heavy rains there. Blackwood, Clementon, Pine Hill, heavy rain there. Right around the Gloucester outlets, you've got some pretty good downpours now. Okay, so it's raining pretty good almost everywhere here. All right, let's zoom up. Let me pull out just a little bit. Not quite in downtown Washington Township, but you're quickly running out of time. This is technically warned. I have not seen winds any higher than 50 miles per hour in any of this, though. So what the Weather Service is doing is, with abundance of caution, they're trying to get everybody safe because it was a nice day. People were out and about, and you don't want people getting caught in bad weather. All right, but this storm here, I know, has winds in the 40s that did not have 50 mile an hour or 58 mile an hour winds. But regardless, all right, I'm nitpicking here. Regardless, what's going to end up happening is every one of these cells is producing huge downpours, winds of at least 45 miles per hour, and in some cases 55 miles per hour, and some hail and a lot of cloud-to-ground lightning strikes, although we're starting to lose a lot of the lightning here now. Looks like they just issued this severe thunderstorm warning, and Washington Township is included in this. This is radar-indicated winds 60 miles per hour and hail an inch in diameter. Let's see. All right, that's the DBZ levels. Okay, that's the warning right there. An inch in diameter. Yeah, that's definitely look at this 61 DBZ. That's definitely some hail. Some big hailstones there. And the worst of this is about 10 miles now south of Philadelphia. That's the radius there. It looks like that hail is about 10 miles west. All right. Big thunderstorms. Big, 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 big. A lot of heavy rain, which is good. You know, we can put a dent in this drought. You know what? I don't know if this is going to show up. No, that's not what I wanted. I wish I was able to show you guys. Let's go back over to the precip. Yeah, look at that. Some big rains there. Hey, Jim. You want in on this? You want in on some of the action? You're good. There's no tornado warnings here for the Gloucester County area, but there's some big rains. Is it pouring out there?
Nope.
No rain yet?
Nope. Lightning and thunder, so we tried to get the dogs out.
Yeah, Murphy, my dog loves lightning, let me tell you. Jim, can you do me a favor? Can you put the meat in the fridge and the tomatoes? That's all going to go bad. That's a heck of a lot of meat.
Yeah, you guys didn't eat that much.
Yeah. All right. Lori's trying to make me fat. Look at all that food. Jeez.
I didn't even cook all the chicken you guys had.
Yeah, it was cheap. It was only like $5. I was like, all right, let me load up on the chicken.
Well, I cooked all but like 3 of the little tenders.
Mhm.
So that way a page wants like a lunch or
Okay.
salad or chicken on something. Or
Nice.
I'll be right back.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, let me see. Ba-ba. Okay. All right, I'll tell you what. Let's go back to. There it is right there, Jim.
Ooh.
That's a lot of rain.
So that's coming here.
Yeah, so we're
we?
located right about here.
But that's going to go this way.
It's all moving west to east.
Oh, it's going this way?
Yeah, so see, there's Pittman Glassboro. Actually, looks like the worst of it's going to be north of Glassboro.
Right. Okay, so we're just going to get rain
Yeah.
and not even a ton.
Although some areas are getting a ton.
Not enough.
Well, it's funny. Your work pounded right now. Huge amounts of rain, and then here we are.
We're closed. That's a good thing.
All right. You know what I'm going to do? We don't have any more tornado warnings, so I think I'm going to take a break and get something to eat. Because
You don't want me to put that away?
yeah, I did, but now I'm smelling it, so now I want it.
Come on up and eat, and then before I put it all away.
Okay.
All right.
Funny thing is, so I'm going to have to figure out. I forget how to.
To your computer.
I'm talking like I don't know how to sign out. So people are watching me right now, and I don't know how to sign out. So I'm gonna have to try and figure this out. I know I gotta hit one of these buttons.
Oh.
So yeah, this
I
will.
was just going to say, like, give me 10 minutes, go get something to eat, and I'll be right back.
I know.
That's how you sign out.
Let's see. This is so funny. I don't remember how to sign out, guys. Okay, I'm gonna hit some buttons here. I don't know what I'm doing, so If it does something wacky, I apologize. I gotta hit this. Okay, I know. And then I gotta hit. I don't even know what I just did. Okay. No. Okay.